Not bad. Hi, boys and girls. Do you know what time it is? It's time for Uncle Kevin and Uncle Bill. Uncle Lance and Uncle Eric are in the kitchen.
Go get the children.
And we're at La Divina. Get the kids. We'll teach them some new words today.
Yeah, we'll teach. Oh, you going to learn today. Hey, welcome in. America held hostage, day number, what is this, 32?
It seems like 432.
We got a lot to talk about, and we're just going to be getting about that. So glad to have you with us. We are here, and, I can't thank them enough, really, during this whole thing. And for going on a year now since the Exile happened, Lance LeBlanc, Mary LeBlanc, and the gang here at La Divina have been our very, very cordial and generous hosts for all this time, and we can't thank them enough. They have remained open for call-in orders.
Yes.
During this time, and we would like you to consider that. They've got delicious food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 771-8488 in the 225. That's 771-8488. They'll bring it out to you just pull up out front. They'll bring it out to your car. Limited contact delivery.
Well, Lance has even got a mask now.
Mm-hmm.
It's an insane clown posse mask.
Have you seen N95 suitable graphic masks yet?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I've seen them with like a dog's face.
I had to stop at the grocery yesterday, and I saw one in the grocery store. At least I hope it was a mask. But by
I
the way,
want to get one with one of these.
Yeah,
one of these on it, just like this, right there.
That's
what I want to get on my mask.
There's a company, I can't remember where they are. They're nowhere near us. But if you'll send them a picture of your face below the eyes, they will imprint that on your mask so that your mask looks like
you have no mask.
Yeah. By the way, at La Divina, 771-8488. I can read it today. Today's special, spaghetti and meatballs.
Spaghetti.
Now, these aren't little golf ball-sized meatballs. These are not cocktail meatballs. These are make you want to go out and whack somebody-sized meatballs.
These are, I'll have this one now, and I'll take the other one home and have it for supper.
Or use it as ballast.
Feed it to the kids.
All of them.
I mean, they're big.
Yeah.
Big, yummy meatballs.
Spaghetti
you haven't really
and
enjoyed
meatballs.
Spaghetti and meatballs till you've done it here at La Divina. So give that some consideration. You
Yeah,
can get lunches as early as 11 o'clock. You can start placing your order at 11 o'clock.
Start placing your order at 11, and it's until they run out. And these are not prepackaged meatballs. They make their meatballs here. What kind of pasta do you use with your spaghetti and meatballs, Lance?
Spaghetti. The best
kind.
Okay.
You buy him books, he eats the covers.
By the way, Jane says it's day 35.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank
I
you,
have frankly
Jane.
lost count.
I don't necessarily hesitate to bring this up.
You don't usually hesitate to bring anything.
But
up,
I just...
You're not known for your hesitation.
I just bringing this up makes me sad and infuriates me in a whole new way. Jim Baker, member of Jim and Tammy Faye?
So, yeah.
Jim Baker, who went to Club Fed for committing fraud.
Not to be confused with James Baker.
Yes, Jim with two Ks. He's probably an apartheid guy. He's probably Jim Baker.
Well, he should be actually Backer.
Yeah, but this clown. See, I thought he was dying.
I thought, like a couple of years ago, I thought that he was like, getting ready to check out of the Radio Ranch.
Well, apparently, he is now under investigation for selling phony cures for COVID-19. He is under investigation for selling phony cures for COVID-19. And he has been apparently busying himself by preaching and also selling end-of-times accoutrements, like 100 pounds of freeze-dried broccoli and things like that.
Oh, prepper stuff.
Yeah. Well, he calls it ends-of-time stuff so he can keep his Jesus connection going.
Okay, yeah.
Because
that's the only way that the disaster preppers, in some people it's going to be because Jesus came and took everyone away.
So he was warned you cannot offer colloidal gold.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. If it's end of times Jesus came and take everybody away. Why would any of his people need any of his stuff? Jesus will have come and taken them away.
It's a hostess gift. They want to be able to bring something.
What does he say? You know, I know you're all here with me and I'm down with God and everything, but just in case.
St. Peter, look, I've got this jerky for you. I didn't know whether to bring wine or not, if that would be insulting. It's a hostess gift. Well, and
Wow.
Doesn't that show the mental acuity of those who follow this bozo and give him money?
It's religious zealots. We talked about this with Tony Spell.
Well, they're not even that zealous.
Well, I mean,
They're actually kind of
There's, I don't know. I'm
logy.
not a psychologist. I don't have a degree in psychology. I should actually get my wife on the program because she does. But there's probably some name for it where you're easily led.
There is actually.
And you become. It's not just that you have faith, but you find yourself being easily led by the minister or the leader of the group, the Jim Jones character, the cult leader.
I don't know if you know this, but after graduating from LSU the first time, 10 years later, I went back, and I took 30 hours of psychology, sociology,
Oh, really?
and social work.
I didn't know that.
I felt it would help me relate better to audiences and people that I was doing public relations with.
Make you better at chewing them out.
I can tell you what the term is for this. It's in the DSM. Moron.
Nincompoop.
Idiot.
No, look, there's nothing wrong with having faith, and there's nothing wrong with belonging to a church, but blindly following the church leader. A church leader's a man, and he's fallible, and he's capable of mistakes, just like you.
And this one's a felon.
Yeah.
And a philanderer.
In this case, this guy's done hard jail time. Nobody cares about that. They don't care about that because to err is human.
And he got caught because he couldn't keep it in his pants.
Right.
They would never have discovered the fraud because they would have had no reason to look at him if he weren't diddling Jessica Hahn.
Yeah, well, the funny thing about, I remember that, the funny thing is a lot of people, they kind of looked at Jessica Hahn and went, well, Jessica, Tammy, Jessica, Tammy, I understand the guy.
Well, he did better than Reverend Swag. But anyway, where were we going with
We're
this?
digressive.
So he gets warned by the federal authorities at the FTC and the FDA, you cannot sell this product as a cure for COVID-19. You must cease and desist. Well, he doesn't the first time. So then they open up an investigation of him for fraud, and all the credit card companies, Visa, Amex, MasterCard, Discover, they say, we will no longer process any purchases made with credit cards for anything that you sell off your television and radio program.
Really?
So now he's saying, they want my head on a plate. You godly people that believe in the salvation of Jesus and believe in me, you need to send me actual cash or checks now. Not, oh, I'm sorry, I messed up. I won't do it again.
How about, let me lay low for a little while.
And you know what? I am sure there are Maroons that are still sending him money.
But, it's the same thing with, the Reverend Spell and Central has prayer cloths, which I think, boy, you actually get people to pay for a piece of fabric?
Well, that, he didn't invent that.
No.
That went back to Oral Roberts.
Who was it the other day? Kenneth Copeland claimed that he just used the power of God to just blow COVID-19 right out of here. Just power of God. Dispatch you. Go away, COVID-19. Big crazy eyes.
Oh, yeah.
That was on his television program.
And they love him.
Dude, people still getting it, Ken.
Oh,
what's the deal? And, he's another one. He's just, wow. I don't get. By the way, Jane Power says the name for these is sheeple. They were so easily led by somebody. I've never understood how so many could be so easily led by somebody who strains credulity so obviously.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, again, I think a lot of this goes back to there are people who have broken lives and broken spirits because they have broken lives. And some of these people have multiple marriages. Some of these people have kids who hate them. Some of these people have been addicted to substances. Mm-hmm. Some of these people have been bad people previously.
A lot of them are broken in some way.
Yeah, and these guys, basically, the transaction, that a lot of these people don't see is these guys say, we love you, we care about you, all is forgiven, you will always be part of us as long as you got a checkbook and a pen that still works.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you can deal with that kind of insecurity in people in any meaningful way. Because you can look them in the face and tell them, this man is taking advantage of you, and they'll go, no, and you say, well, try a little experiment. Don't put anything in the plate, and tell them you're not going to put anything in the plate for the next year.
And see how long you remain welcome.
Yeah, and see how much distance comes between his love and you. You know, and I think one of the things that I've always liked about Catholicism, even though I'm probably the worst practicing Catholic on earth.
What are you, a two-timer?
Yeah, Christmas and Easter. And if somebody dies or somebody gets married. And that's largely because of what I see inside the walls, not because I don't believe, okay?
Yep.
But one of the things that I've always taken with me is that you can't buy your way into heaven. You don't get a better place because you've thrown money into a collection plate or because you've hopped like your nads are on fire because that's what the preacher is doing. Mm-hmm. That doesn't buy you anything with
Wave
the Almighty.
your hands in the air.
That's another thing.
Thank you, God.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Lord.
Karen and I have tried to be a little better about being Catholic and go to services, and they're starting to do all this Pentecostal crap with waving.
Wow,
and
Pentecostal crap.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's Pentecostal crap. I mean, that's for morons. Okay, who are you waving to? You're the one who believes that God is everywhere and God sees everything. You don't need to wave, going, "Oh, Mr. Carter, pick me."
Real religious fervor.
That's horse crap.
Well, they get all filled with the Spirit.
Oh no,
you're telling me your Catholic church does that charismatic crap at your?
Yeah, I mean,
really?
Well, and you know this all started. This all started when they turned the altar around, went to English, and had Catholics sing from the pews. And I remember my mother. I used to drive my mother to 9:00 mass every Sunday. And she said, "What's the matter with you? You love to sing." I looked at her. I said, "Mom, Baptists sing. Catholics have choirs."
There you go.
And then it degenerated where instead of doing good Catholic hymns that were well-written pieces of music by the great masters, then they said, "Yeah, we be gathered like a river." And it's like, not for me.
No.
I am not going to abrogate the good education I have had in faith and theology to act like I'm somebody that handles snakes. Mm-hmm. And now they're doing, please share the sign of peace. And that takes longer than the Lord's Prayer. And now we're doing the waving. And people, when you do the blessing of the host, you sit there with your head bowed and you take the blessing. Mm-hmm. Now you have to do this. Touchdown!
Touchdown.
Not for me.
By the way, Bill, how do you like my...
Well, it's nautical. Where'd you get that?
Well, actually, Betsy Barnes gave it to me. A person she knows.
Do you know where it's been?
Yeah, whose schnoz has it been on before?
You know where that's been?
I have this in my pocket for one reason. So when I go to the store, I don't have, pardon the phrase, Karen, giving the naughty me. This is just... I know your wife's name is Karen.
Who started I want to see Karen's original post that got everybody so...
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know how it started being Karen, but Karen is basically the name we give to that lady who just chooses to scold you because you're not doing the right thing.
Poor Leslie Davis. Leslie, come on, give me a break here. Leslie has been taking me to task lately. When I quoted Blazing Saddles, she took me to task, and now she says, raising hands to worship does not connote to handling snakes.
No, but it's equally pointless.
It is equally pointless. And Leslie,
sorry.
I'm just having a little fun. It's just something that traditionally wasn't done in Catholicism.
Bill and I are a couple old guys, and we just came from, I grew up in a Methodist church. Bill grew up in a Catholic church, but I think we can both say that church services for us were sit there, open up the hymnal, sing along when asked to, and otherwise be quiet and put something in the collection plate.
Well, you're supposed
and
to.
it was, in my opinion, a little more dignified.
Yeah. Well, and Leslie, point of order here, sweetheart. Love you, but does not connote to handling snakes is not proper English. Does not relate to handling
equate.
snakes. Or equate. Yeah, not connote. Connote is something different.
But I got what you were saying.
But take your hands down.
But, yeah.
But I mean,
And
don't.
we love you, Leslie. Thank you
But,
very much.
I don't know how anybody, and I'm serious now, and people can do what they want. I've always said that. Just don't expect me to do it. But
Exactly.
I don't know how you can feel that you are dignified, that you are worshipful, that you are listening to the lessons being taught, that you are repenting for the minor transgressions or the major ones of the week, that you are getting the Spirit of the Lord when you're jumping around like your nards are on fire and you're waving your hands in the air. Sit down, shut up, bow your heads, and learn something.
Yeah, we used to just, for us, it was the Reverend Hanson would have his sermon, and we would all sit dutifully and listen to the sermon and hope that Reverend Hanson was fiery. For a Methodist,
Oh, was he?
He was fiery. I mean, a little fire and brimstone from the pulpit there. So he'd raise his voice, and I was a kid at times. It scared the hell out of me. He'd be, boom, on that tabletop, and he'd, get emphatical, and I'd be like, Mom, I don't like this. It'd be scary for a 7-year-old kid.
Was it? Do you remember if it was United Methodist?
It was the Hill Memorial United Methodist Church, Bradford,
Because
Pennsylvania.
normally United Methodist, I dated a girl briefly in high school, and there was something special going on at their church, and so she asked me to come, and it was my first real introduction to Methodism. And again, the guy's up there in his John Wesley robes. He's got a doctorate from SMU or one of the other great universities, and he's like, "All right, here's the deal. Here's what we believe: live a good life, exercise your free will properly, give thanks to God for that you have, pray for others. Other than that, do whatever the hell you want." They were very, very MOR.
Next week's sermon, more of the same. I don't know what got us onto church other than Jim Baker, but
Tony Lightfoot likes my nards on fire.
yeah.
I'll bet you Tony is Anglican. Now, they're very dignified in church. They're all about dignity.
Tony, Church of England. Tony is
He's British, yeah.
He's British, yeah. I don't know if Tony's dual citizenship or American citizen, but the Church of England, Tony, which was it? Back in the old, back home in the old country, man.
But even the Anglicans here, the Episcopalians, are very, very dignified at church.
You
don't see a lot of waving. You don't see a lot of jumping around.
I always looked at Episcopals
You
as
sing the
Catholic
good tunes. Yeah, it's Catholic.
It's like Catholicism with a third less guilt.
And you can be married if you're a priest, and you can divorce without anybody going.
But yeah, Betsy gave me this, and I'm going to use it. I have to go to the grocery store later today, and this is just so I don't get those looks. I just, and this will be my first time that I've gone out in public wearing a mask. I'm just not.
Hey,
I don't. Maybe I'm stupid, but I'm not down with the program. I'm not down with the whole mask and glove thing.
well, but you'll feel better about yourself if we've all got seasonal allergies right now.
Yes.
If you happen to have a sneeze and you got the mask on, you'll feel better about yourself not sneezing on people.
Yeah.
All right, and so Don, I love Yankees telling people how they should worship. LOL. It's like not telling anybody how they should worship.
What does us being Yankees have to do with it?
Well, I've lived here more than I lived up north ever. And my mother was from Hammond, Louisiana,
Exactly.
and we used to come every year.
I only lived in Pennsylvania for 17 years, Don. I'm 60.
And Don, you're usually smarter about this. You don't usually miss the point. I am not telling people how they should worship.
Yeah.
I'm making fun of the way they worship. And there's a big, big difference, Don, and you should catch that.
Yeah, I would not deem to tell you how to worship.
But
That's
I
entirely
reserve
up
the
to
right
you.
to make fun of you mercilessly.
Exactly, but when you get up and you dance badly in the aisles
Oh.
and fall on the floor and speak in tongues, which, by the way, I've witnessed in churches in Mississippi. I'm that guy. See, at this time I was like maybe 17 years old, going to church services in Mississippi, and people literally, boom, down in the aisles, rolling around, and blah, 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 oh, he's speaking in tongues, and I'm covering my, it's funny.
Wish you had that mask then, didn't you?
It's funny. Somebody mentioned earlier when we were talking about prayer clause, who was it that oh yeah, it was Jane. Peter Popoff and his miracle water. Popoff is the guy that when he's healing you, he gives you like a sharp rap right in the center of your forehead, like he's driving the helmet right. It's like it's crazy, man.
Well, you told me one time that one of your instructions, should you predecease your wife, is even though that you are proud of your heritage, no bagpipes at your funeral, right?
Right, absolutely.
You know what my one instruction is? No freaking Amazing Grace.
Yeah. Well,
that's like the national anthem of the religiously constipated and ignorant.
And I'm with you on Amazing Grace, but with me, it's in particular, do not play Amazing Grace, and for God's sakes, not on the bagpipes.
Oh yeah, that'd be the double whammy.
If you're gonna have, if you must have somebody play the bagpipes,
I could see you rising up and that lid coming open.
Yeah. No.
You'd have that look on your face like, what did I tell you?
Besides, I'm Irish, not Scottish, and the bagpipes in Ireland, not so much a thing. What the Irish are big on is
getting drunk.
Well, yeah, that
at funerals,
a lot, big time.
Fist fights.
Irish music is a lot of accordion and like it's not piccolo, but a reed pipe.
And by the way, real accordion, not
a squeeze box.
Yeah, not 3 notes played.
No, not Kunas accordion.
Yeah.
Of course, we're not talking about COVID-19 all that much. You know why? Because it's Friday, and who needs that crap?
But it is fun because some of you will be going to church dancing around on Sunday.
No, I'm sorry, Garrison. No. Amazing Grace is not Scotland the Brave. I mean, I know on the bagpipes everything sounds the same.
Yeah, true.
But, think about it. Ba 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 ba, as opposed to ba 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 ba.
And there are only 3 tunes that can be played on the bagpipes anyway.
Yeah. You can play Scotland the Brave, Amazing Grace, and what?
That march that they do at cop funerals in New York.
What's Scotland the Brave? Usually.
Oh, is that it? See, it doesn't sound like it.
Scotland the Brave.
And
usually.
You should never have more than 1 bagpipe playing, because when you have 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20. It just sounds like you're entering the gates of hell.
Oh, I was going to say it. Like you've been to the Irish parade, the famous Irish parade in Chicago. I've only seen it on television, but when those guys come in, there's like 70 of them playing bagpipes in unison, which is amazing sometimes. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like Godzilla's coming down the street.
I have arrived.
What the hell is that?
I have arrived at the gates of hell. All right,
Flower of Scotland. Thank you, Tony.
All right, so some of you folks that do the hands up and sway in church. Do you rehearse?
Yeah. What if you're over on the left and everybody else is over on the right?
Look, I'm going to hit Kevin in the face. Do you rehearse?
And when the preacher's done, why don't you whip out the Bic lighter and hold it up for an encore? Nobody does that in church. Why not?
Or no, if you've got some that dance in the aisles, they should get Olympic scoring. You can make your cards 1 through 9 in your whole row.
There you go.
He only got a 6.1 on that. He's going to hell.
Like I said, Bill and I just grew up in a different time where church was kind of a dignified thing. It wasn't where you went to lose control. But I understand for some, who was it that called it the opiate of the man? What's that?
You had a bug heading for you. I got rid of it.
I thought you were wanting to slap my face for a second.
Hey, if I want to slap your face,
who was it called religion the opiate of the masses?
Karl Marx.
Karl Marx. Well, Marx might have been onto something because in some cases that's what they're doing. They're getting, there's an old Cheech and Chong thing. I used to be all messed up on drugs, but since I found the Lord, now I'm all messed up on the Lord. Mm-hmm. And just there's some truth to be spoken there. Some folks just throw themselves headlong into their faith and find themselves, next thing you know, they're rolling in the aisle, literally rolling in the aisles.
Well, I mean, they're.
Leslie's getting. Maybe it's time we talk about COVID.
I like what Jane said. A line from Stripes: "Black guys help the white guys." Yeah. And Bug is coming for you. I keep swatting at him.
Because I'm so sweet.
It's a gnat.
They cannot read it
because
I'm so
it's
sweet.
a gnat. But
Jack Cluzo says, Bill, you haven't lived until you've heard the Christmas shoes played on bagpipes. Yeah, we all know Bill loves the Christmas shoes.
It might make it. It actually might improve it.
Let's talk a little bit about.
Do you want
virus.
to take our break and then we'll talk about virus?
Have we been on that long already?
Yeah, it's time for us to take a
Holy
break.
Mackerel, Moesha.
We'll be back.
25,000 reported cases in Louisiana. The death count, the official
And when we
death
come
count.
back, for those of you who like all the motion and waving in churches, Kevin will give clogging for churchgoers when we come back.
There you go. Clogging for churchgoers. I need coffee. Come back, join us in 3 minutes here.